Imagine standing on a cold, windswept shore as the roar of the sea echoes in your ears and the weight of a sword rests firmly in your hand. Yet you are not who history expected to be. There you are, a woman in the Viking Age, choosing a path that defies every rule, every fear, and every limitation placed upon you. This is where the story of female Viking warriors truly begins, not just on the battlefield, but deep within the mind, where courage is born and fear is faced. Head-on, these women were not simply fighters. They were individuals who made a decision that most people would never dare to make. They chose to step into danger instead of running away from it. And that choice reveals something powerful about the human mind, because courage is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to act despite it in a world where expectations were clearly defined. These women refused to be confined by them. They've trained their bodies, but more importantly, they trained their minds to stay focused, calm, and determined even when everything around them was chaos. Their strength came from discipline, their beliefs, and a deep sense of purpose that pushed them forward when others would hesitate. They understood that the greatest battle was not always against an enemy, but within themselves, against doubt, against fear, and against the voice that told them they could not do it. And this is what makes their mindset so powerful, because it shows that true strength does not come from physical power alone, but from the belief that you are capable of more than the world expects of you. And as you begin to understand their journey, you start to realize that their story is not just history. It is a reflection of what is possible when the mind refuses to give up, when the heart chooses to be brave, and when a person decides that their limits are not defined by others, but by their own belief. And in this moment, you are invited to step into that mindset, to question your own fears, and to ask yourself what you might achieve if you had the same unshakable determination that these warriors carried into every battle they faced. Because their story begins with a choice, and so does yours, starting right now in this very moment today. But as powerful as their courage appears on the surface, there is a deeper layer that few truly understand. Because the mind of a warrior is not built in moments of glory. It is shaped in silence, in struggle, and in the constant presence of uncertainty. These women did not wake up fearless. They became fearless through repeated exposure to fear, through moments where retreat seemed easier, yet they chose to stand their ground. And that is where the real transformation begins, because the human mind adapts to what it faces regularly. And for these warriors, danger became familiar, pain became tolerable, and fear became something they learned to control, rather than something that controlled them. Yet here is where the suspense grows, because not every battle they faced was against an enemy standing in front of them. Some of the most difficult battles were invisible, hidden deep within their thoughts, where doubt could quietly grow and question their worth, their strength, and their place in a world that often resisted their presence. And in those moments, the difference between breaking and rising came down to one thing: their ability to master their own mind. They developed a level of emotional control that allowed them to remain focused, even when the outcome was uncertain, even when loss surrounded them, even when the cost of fighting was greater than the reward. And this is what separates an ordinary mindset from a warrior mindset, because it is easy to feel strong when everything is going well, but true strength is revealed when everything begins to fall apart, and you still choose to move forward. And this is the hidden truth that makes their story so intense, because behind every act of bravery was a silent battle that no one could see, a moment where giving up would have been justified. Yet they refused to surrender to that thought. They built mental resilience by embracing discomfort, accepting that pain was part of the journey, and by understanding that growth only comes when you push beyond what feels safe. And as this realization sinks in, it creates a powerful question within you. What are you avoiding in your own life? What fear have you allowed to control your decisions? And what would happen if you faced it with the same relentless mindset as these warriors? Because the line between who you are and who you could become is often defined by how you respond in those unseen moments when everything inside you is being tested to its absolute limit. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.